We made it to day 29 of our 40 Days with Jesus series. If this is your first time tuning in, you can catch all of our previous episodes under our IGTV tab. Today, we read through the Transfiguration in the verses below in Matthew 17, Mark 9, and Luke 9. Today, we'll focus our reflection time on Mark's version. The main idea of this text is that Jesus is no mere man, but rather the very Son of God. And in many ways, this is a reoccurring theme of Mark's gospel. We have the direct words from God in verse 7, "This is my beloved Son." And back in verse 2, we can see that Jesus was transfigured or changed. So how was he changed? In Matthew, it says his face shone like the sun, and then in Mark, it says his clothes were dazzling, extremely white, and remarks that no one on earth could bleach them. This imagery of being pure and free of sin, white as snow. Then God sent two of the greatest prophets of Israel, Elijah and Moses. Why did God change Jesus' appearance and send him to previous prophets? I think Mark is ultimately establishing Jesus' identity as the Son of God, to whom we should listen back in verse 7. And a few notes on the prophets. Moses can represent the Old Testament law, and Elijah the prophets, both of which Jesus fulfills. And this glory and revelation is shown to the disciples, but we'll see that Peter doesn't rightly interpret the events unfolding before him. He doesn't grasp Jesus' divine identity as the Son of God. He addresses Jesus as Rabbi in verse 5. And then if you look up a few verses, this text follows Peter half getting it in his confession as Jesus as Christ, and then immediately rebuking Jesus. God is keen in this part of Mark to firmly and plainly show us that Jesus is his Son, not just a rabbi, but the very Son of God to whom we need to listen. So what about us? Where do we need a refresh in listening to Jesus today? Do you need to listen in the sense of receiving his teaching for encouragement, for correction, for teaching, for rebuke? The universal and timeless idea is to listen to Jesus the Son, but the specific application will be different for each of us today. So may God grant us clarity to see his Son rightly and obediently listen to him today. And may we wait with anticipation to see his glory face to face.